See if my tablet will broadcast clearly here. It's been a week since Forrest Fenn made the announcement, which was an email to Dale, and I guess to Mysterious Writings and Jenny Kyle. But anyhow, I was just looking at it and I was thinking, he said to K-Pro that it ends when something happens. It ends when something happens. The announcement that was on Dale's site, and I meant to look up Jenny's before I started here, but I'll look it up. If I only had a brain, I'd see through this stuff, right? If you think about stuff like this, and Facebook, I searched for Jenny Kyle obituary, Texas. No, I don't think that's her. That's 2019. No, she didn't. I've never had problems with Jenny as far as I know, and Skeeter. Yeah, we got to look at Mysterious Writings. Oh, yes. There. So, anyhow, you look at the message on Dale's site, right? And what's he got? He's got a headline and a header and stuff. But when you send somebody an email that has a header or a headline, you send them an email and you start telling them something, right? Because she has a different header on hers. Her page says Forrest Fenn treasure has been found. Dale's page says the chest has been found. Okay. And let's see, where's his June 6th? And June 6th, 2020. Oh, maybe the title of the email that he sent was "The treasure has been found." But what's it say on Dale's? Dale's, the treasure has been found. It doesn't say the treasure chest. Like he says the treasure chest is wet. He didn't say the treasure inside it was wet. You know what I mean? So, but then, so if you eliminate the header and eliminate the headlines, what's in the message is, it was under a canopy of stars in the lush forested vegetation of the Rocky Mountains and had not moved from the spot where I hid it more than 10 years ago. I do not know the person who found it, but the poem in my book led him to the precise spot. I congratulate the thousands of searchers who participated in the search and hope they will continue to be drawn by the promise of other discoveries. So what happened was, he's saying it was under a canopy of stars, and from the spot where I hid again. And I do not know the person who found it. Okay? Remember in the poem? Take it in the canyon down. What are you taking in the canyon down? Yeah, imagination, your car, your boat, your airplane, you know, take the chase in the canyon down. You're taking the chase. So somebody found the thrill of the chase. What does the front of the book say? The author had spent most of his 80 years in similar pursuits of passion and now wants others to share in the thrill of the chase. That's why he concealed the cache. What's a cache? It's a kind of a collection. And that's it. All that is needed are the clues, some resolve, a little imagination, and maybe a six-pack to help celebrate the discovery of a breathtaking celebrating the thrill of a breathtaking discovery. So the breathtaking, the thrill, celebrate the thrill of a breathtaking discovery. He said there's going to be more discoveries coming. You know? So it's the thrill of that breathtaking discovery. And I was watching I watched this show, Time Team. They're archaeologists in England, and they were it was some Spanish ship from some what do they call them? This Armada, Spanish Armada or whatever, and there was some shipwrecks or something off the coast of Scotland, and they were pulling up olive jars. Olive jars. What's that all about anyhow? The olive jars. It's about archaeology. That's what the olive jars are about. Because the Greek and, you know, they had olive jars going way back in history. Olive jars are biblical. So, those olive jars and stuff. And before I get going too far here, I would say, you know, I saw Sasha, you know, turn on, I'm a real bitch mode. I'm a real bitch. I'm going to chew out Bill Gorman. You know, if you go to 411.info and search for Forrest Fenn, there's his phone number. It's published on the internet. It's a listed phone number. And she just went off the wall. And she didn't know. Well, anybody can get his number if you're wise, smart. I was setting up my new phone, going through my contacts, and when I was scrolling, and that phone knows, oh, he needs to call Forrest, and it tapped instead of scrolled, you know, and it called. I said, okay, I'm talking. I'm going to talk to him, and he always denies everything. He denied he knew. I said, you know, Leo Salazar. No, I never heard of him. What do you mean you never heard of Leo Salazar? You wrote about him on page 105 of Once Upon a While. What do you mean you don't? Oh, yeah, I know him. You know. But at first, he denied everything Gorman asked, deny. So, the message that it was under a canopy of stars, it was what was the ancient archaeology was. And Moses. In my book, the whole poem is about Moses. If you watch my last video, the whole poem is about Moses, but the order in that he's talking about Moses, those clues about Moses, each of those relate to places on the map that'll get you to where Moses is. And I found it. Um, let me see. I don't see anybody chatting. Is there anybody chatting? Yeah, hey, yep. Big whoopies there. Bisons to fly, huh? Flying bisons? I've heard about flying pigs, but flying bisons? Deaf neighbors. Yeah, my neighbors, I got a generator running outside. My neighbors are so far away they can't hear it. Nice ending on the 4-minute video. Yeah, you like how I put all those and I noticed the sound of the music. So next time I use that intro music, I got the better soundtrack to put on it. Anyhow, so the message for the finder and all. I was talking about, Sasha chewing me out for, it was something that Toby and Shelley were talking about. She says there's all these stages of grief after something like this, and it's like disbelief at first, and then it's shock when you look it up and you find it appears to be true, and then she said there's anger. Well, you get kind of mad that hey, there's no way anybody came out here in June and found the blaze. No way at all. No way. If Moses is the blaze, you can only see him at winter solstice. Right around, maybe a couple weeks before, a couple weeks after. That's it. Around winter solstice is when you can see the blaze. And no way somebody came out here from the east and found Moses. Because he only shows up when the shadows are winter solstice shadows. Hey, Jack. He didn't even open his eyes to say his name. He's still laying on the floor. Hey, Steve. I got notes. I've been making notes. That's on the backside of this. Some of my art I printed. It's, you see the woman right under my fingers there with her. There's a couple right here. This woman here and this guy here. And then there's a couple people over there, and there's people up here and here. It's a collection of, it's amazing stuff. What a fact. The archaeology, the olive jars. But he called the olive jars that. What's that all about? What was that all about? He didn't call the olive jars it. But, okay, my notes. So, I was talking about Shelley talking about the stages, and it goes into anger, and then you're like, no way somebody got there before. No freaking way. Like Barbara Anderson. Me and Michael Patterson, we were talking to Barbara Fenn last year. She seemed okay then, but we didn't know she was going to do this. And Barbara, you need to knock it off. This isn't totally over yet. Forrest said there'd be lots of surprises this year. Not one surprise, lots of surprises. So there's more coming. And if it's been found, not the treasure, or this ancient archaeology is treasures. Moses on the Canaan wall is a treasure. And so he even in the thing, it doesn't say the treasure chest has been found. It says the treasure has been found. It's an ancient treasure. You're looking for the treasure old, and if you find the treasure's old, you get the treasure new. He's hinting that there's a new treasure, but he's not. saying in the poem doesn't say that he left that treasure chest out there. When he says, take the chest and go in peace, he's talking about King Kong. I did it. I did it. I did it. That's take the chest. Take the chest is pounding your chest, saying, I did it. I don't know. You know, that's why I believe the chest ain't out. So when this statement came out, it's like, I don't think the chest was out. Because how can you find the treasure without finding the blaze? So this guy's got to come up, produce a picture of the blaze before he can have the title for the treasure. You can be in the right area, and if you don't see this stuff, and this face in here, look at this guy in here, this woman here, there's a woman back here, you know, if you can't see that, you can't find the blaze. Dinosaur is in a desert. Dinosaur National Monument, that is a desert. He says not in a desert. I've never thought of dinosaur as lush. First time I went there was 1972 when I was a kid. And I got pictures of me with the Stegosaurus, and we had pictures inside and stuff. It's a desert. Like a lot of Wyoming is the red desert. And he said it's not, and Forrest made it clear, that's the red desert. I said it's not in a desert. He called it a lush, in the lush forested vegetation of the Rocky Mountains. So some of my notes here, you know, like when I maybe lashed out at Forrest about one night because I was watching too many K-Pro and these other people that are doom show the treasure's found, or the treasure chest. Somebody has the treasure chest. He didn't say that. You know, you go out and you have your thrill of the chase, and you take that memory home with you. Finding what's out there, that taking that memory home with you, not necessarily the treasure chest. Yeah, there's so what I call these people on these channels with all the negative and coming at me. That's why I kind of waited a week. I made some videos where I'm kind of control edited videos and not live and say things out of order or whatever. But so these other channels, the psychic vampires, I call them. It's like my siblings. I can't talk. My brother just sucks all the energy because he pisses me off. Everything it's like he's sucking the energy out of me. I can't talk to him. Him and my sister both pissed me off about a month ago, and I blocked them both because they said, you don't deserve your veteran benefits. Tell that to another veteran. Tell that to Forrest Fenn. Tell that to any veteran. Tell that to Jason Dent. Tell that to Rick McDonald. If somebody told you don't deserve your veteran benefits, yeah, it's double blazes, bitch. So, you know what I mean. And the thing was, I was telling her that the VA got me oxygen. Oh, you don't deserve those benefits. No. It basically is my sister telling me, I don't care about your health. and so these anger people, when you're talking about, look up the definition of meek. And what's a meek person? A meek person is somebody that's picked on by the gang. The bullies. That's like the DeCall thing where DeCall was making up shit and saying that I'm hurting women and children and stuff, when all I said on Gypsy's Kiss in the chat, I said the gypsies lack imagination, and Shelley exploded. Oh, Bill Gorman just personally insulted me. Protect us, moderators, from the vicious Bill Gorman, who said that she took it as if I said, I didn't say Shelley lacks imagination. I said the gypsies lack imagination. That's not a personal insult. That's to the group, the pair, the couple. They're psychic vampires too. And so a meek person is somebody that's bullied by the cabal. And what we got is cabal. You got Toby and Shelley, K-Pro. I'm sure Mike would have had me on if K-Pro didn't stop him. And Mike, watch out, man. You marry her, she didn't find the treasure chest. I guarantee you she'll find that 200 pounds. I think she's already got part of it back. So, and I wrote a little, I was listening to American Pie and I was thinking, oh, I can edit, I can ad-lib this song. And so I wrote a little thing. You can find it. I think it's on No Place for the Meek on Facebook. And I changed my Forrest Fenn Fanatics group. I changed that. It's now Double Blazes University. The problem is the one who found the blaze knows he found the blaze. And if Forrest showed a picture of the blaze, he'll be certain, and Forrest didn't want to let Finder know until the end of Forrest Fenn's rainbow when his will is read. The end of his rainbow is the end of his life. The last page of the book is talking about his funeral. And is that path? What's read at his funeral? What's going to be read at his funeral? He told Ralph Lauren, I'm taking it with me. That means he's made the comment, I'm taking it to the grave. Is he in the grave yet? No. So nobody has the treasure chest. It was found. It was the target of the chase. If you find it, because it is Meek Moses halfway up 1,000-foot karst. If you find it, then I'll give you title to the gold. Your quest is done. All you had to do was find it. And it has been found. The person who found it doesn't necessarily have the treasure yet. But this whole announcement thing will make it so that nobody else is, the person who found it is locked in. The other people that think it was the chest won't be falling off of mountains, drowning in rivers, and stuff like that. I don't know if Forrest knew about I don't think he knew anything about what happened with Heather Dawn. That's sad, you know. You know, she was trying and all that best she could, and she's not somebody I would have wanted to date or anything, but it wasn't somebody I hated. There's not many people I really even Sean Dodson, and he said I'm gonna have two people on my show that disparage Bill Gorman, have made it clear on the Toby. I talked to Toby 20 minutes on that one show, and he cut that part of the thing out because I called him by surprise with my Oregon phone number that I've had for 10 years. So the last page of the book's about his funeral. That's when the treasure is awarded. After his funeral, at the end of the rainbow. That's right, at the end of the book. And the end of the book is about the end of his life. So that's another thing. Okay, Sassy and K-Pro and all that. They all hate me, And Candy says I called her a C word. I never did. I called her a B word. But in her head, she goes, but I'm really a, and so that's what he called me. Because other people, and that's the nastiest thing. So I'm going to make up that he called me a C word. And to turn to like, it's like throwing 100 spears at somebody, And nobody went and checked to see if I actually said it or not. They just believed her. That's why Forrest says, don't listen to the biddies. Don't listen to the biddies. But I have a note here about Sassy. Sassy, if you're watching, when you were after the David Blaine treasure, were you popular? Or were you somebody in the hunt that they all despised and hated? Because the popular one ain't the one that's gonna find it. You know what I mean? It's somebody that the meek are the ones that are picked on. And I'm picked on big time by them. Yeah. Well, the whole Rocky Mountains are under a canopy. There's no stars in Colorado. There's no stars in New Mexico. There are no. A canopy of stars is someplace where it's really dark, like here. It's very dark here. If I go outside, I can see the Milky Way. I can see that whole Milky Way pass over top of me and stuff. I got a telescope that sees a lot. It was a $5,000 telescope when I got it, but that was the year 2000, and the motor don't work on it or nothing. The Crips, yeah, gangsters, cabal. Jack's sleeping right here on the floor next to me. So Sassy, it's not the popular people. Are about 99% of the time wrong. It's the people, the obscure, the ones that aren't that everybody hates because they're smarter than them that find it. Yes, I think he added to help out. Yeah. The treasure has been found. It doesn't say the treasure chest. It's so. And how can you possess the treasure without finding and identifying the blaze first? There has to be a blaze, and if there is this finder that wants to remain anonymous, what's the problem with having your lawyer or somebody you trust to keep you secret, put it out anonymously to the press, these pictures and stuff, and nobody knows who the hell you are yet. Just say photos submitted by anonymous. At least a picture of the blaze. You got to show a picture of the blaze if you want anybody to believe that the treasure chest was found. People go out there with their phone. You got your phone, take a picture of it while you're out there. So, why can't they go through an agent or whatever, and if this person has the treasure, keeping it secret is one of the stupidest moves you can make. Because if it's made public, you're going to make 10 times more off of it. 10 times more. So, it's maybe worth $2 million or whatever as a secret and stuff. But if it's known, and then it's going to be, it's going to be worth a whole lot more. You don't take something like that and hide it under your bed and leave it there forever. Forrest said put it there for 30 days, okay? So, are we on this 30-day wait period? It's been 7 days now. So there's a 30-day period here. So wait up June 6th. By June 6th, there should be an announcement. And what's funny is June 6th is my great-great-grandfather's birthday. I think it's his birthday. Or it was the day he got shot in the Civil War. But the other thing, it was on D-Day. Forrest prayed for D's. The announcement came on D-Day. What is the next D in this puzzle? Death. Death is the next D. Because I don't think he's going to get divorced. Don't think so. No. He wouldn't do that. So death is another D. The rusty Ford. Rusty red. Rust is red. Okay, so a rusty red Ford. I've got that too. I found all these pieces of this puzzle. They're the treasures old. The stuff I found is treasures old because this stuff is from the Ice Age. Oh. Who benefits? Who benefits from by keeping it secret? Who's the one benefiting by keeping it secret? There's only one person that would benefit by keeping it secret. Like I said, the finder, if it's made public, it's worth 10 times more than keeping it secret. And also, this finder, if they're going to take it to an auction and sell it, the auction is going to get twice as much with the correct solution accompanying the treasure. If you go and try and auction it without telling them the solution to the treasure, the value of the chest is less than half. If you tell them the solution to the poem, because that person buying it knows that they can put that thing on exhibit for $200,000 a year, and after it toured the world, then it can be put in a museum indefinitely, or a casino would use it as they're a tractor to a casino that's built for the chest, which would mean it's going to be there a long time. It ain't going to They don't build the casino to last 2 years. They build them to last at least 20 years. So if $200,000 a month for 20 years is $50 million or so. So the value of the chest just went way up. And the other thing is you can make 50 million off it and still own it without having to sell it. You're using it to earn yourself money. And you only have to pay tax on the money you make off of it. You don't have to pay tax on the treasure. It's only the money that you're making off, the money you earn from it. They can't tax gold. They can only tax Federal Reserve notes. You can't tax the treasure. Trump did away with the inheritance tax and all that. Who benefits from keeping it secret? Forrest does. Forrest is the only one who benefits from keeping it secret. The finder is not going to benefit by keeping it secret. They cut their earnings in half by keeping it secret. And even it went to keeping the name of the person who found it secret is going to lower the value of the treasure. So they want to know the solution. They want to know who. And I suggest, Barbara, drop your case. Drop your case, Barbara. Be sensible. You're a lawyer. You know better. Barbara, if you want, then you got to look at the other people. Look at all the people that say that they had it and stuff. And if it was the blaze I found, and you've seen the video, my blaze, what Moses is, where he is, and why he's the blaze, and all that. You know that your thing is nowhere near there, and I actually found Moses before you even started searching. So no way I got it from you. I took these pictures of Moses in 2017. And it says she's been searching for 3 years. So, bisons fly as you. Are you French? Bisons to fly. Are you French? Yeah. I was watching a thing about the Masons and stuff. Or the Freemasons and stuff like that. And I had to tell somebody, somebody mentioned, they said my grandpa was her father and grandpa. And they said, there's a story about my fifth great grandfather, Colonel James Rogers of Rogers Rangers. His brother was Robert Rogers. And he fought the Plains of Abraham. I think that's near Quebec. And where the French were defeated up in Canada, and he took possession of Quebec City and all of French Canada. It ran the French right out of Canada, and then it became a British. They became British. Their parishes, I guess. But they were under the British flag then, after my fifth great grandfather took possession, and they signed the documents to surrender and all that stuff. And my fifth great grandfather used his Masonic pen to sign that. That's what the story says. James Rogers used his Masonic pen. So I went through all my notes. And I got a list of one person. If they show up here on here, they're getting blocked, and they ain't showing up. I'm just saying the phrase under Kansas sphere. Richard Eads Show, Fenn. Well, there are 9 clues in my poem and 1 in my book. The book is a clue. Memoir. It's his memories. What does it say, memoir? Up here, a memoir. A memoir. It's his memories that are on the canyon walls. And all stories have already been written. That's why he can find his stories on the canyon walls, because people experienced the same things way back then. And then here, I wish I could have lived to do the things I was attributed to. And what's one of the things he was attributed to? Hiding a treasure chest, when all that was hidden was an ancient treasure. He wanted you to find somebody to find the ancient treasures out there. And that's been done. It's been done. Go back, and if you haven't seen it, watch my video. Oh, what's the title of it? Yeah. And Forrest is, when Sasha said that, we'll go over and put his phone number. Well, I'm sorry, Forrest. When things like this come out, and you got to listen. I got to listen to all these people assuming a lot of stuff that probably wasn't true and saying things, and you got all the roosters coming out and all the chickens running. So, no place for Forrest Fenn's meek blaze. You see, Moses was the meekest man on earth. And you find Moses halfway up a 1,000-foot bluff. That's a cliff, straight down, okay? He's halfway up there. And he's meek. That is no place for that meek man up there. And Forrest said it's not on a precipice. The blaze is on a precipice, but the treasure chest is not. You don't have to risk your life and go up there where Moses is. You find him, and that's all it takes. He said something will end it. Something will end it. And then he just said, it was under a canopy of stars. It was under a canopy. He didn't say the treasure chest was under a canopy of stars. It was under a canopy of stars. So, big difference. Words are important, Forrest says. So, and some may have noticed that all of my Forrest Fenn videos, I think, previous to last week, they've been switched to private, just because of complainers and stuff. And if you didn't watch it before then, too bad, kind of. Because I don't want to be showing stuff, because it's probably the winning. It's the thrill of the chase and not the quarry. The treasure chest is the quarry. The thrill of the chase is finding that ancient archaeology. When he mentioned the pickle jar or the olive jars, they were olive jars, not pickles. And I watched that archaeology show, or they pulled up these olive jars from the Spanish galleon. It's like, it's about archaeology. That's what the olive jars are, because they've had olive jars in Egypt and Greece. And Greece is way, back as old as Egypt. Greek mythology, and they had olive jars, to make olive oil. They probably used it for a lot of cooking and stuff. And it's like people take antistatins to lower their cholesterol. and stuff. But your brain lives on cholesterol. So you take an anti-statin and your brain dies. As people get Alzheimer's from taking cholesterol pills, So don't take your cholesterol pills, Forrest. Use more olive oil or something. Because obviously they liked olive for a reason. There must be something good in it. And then we got, Ben Franklin, the thumb over Philadelphia. Because this is in Philadelphia. He's got a bust of Thomas Jefferson here. And in the back is a portrait of Sir Isaac Newton. You can almost see it on that. It's really faint, the portrait back there. But here's Benjamin Franklin, like this, with his thumb under his chin. Forrest had his thumb over Philadelphia. This Philadelphia, the thumb. But the important thing here is what's in the other hand, is a deed, a title. And you look at the story about Bella, and there's a table with the story, and Forrest is sitting at the table. And he's got one hand above the table and the other hand under the table. What's he got under the table? What's under the table? What's on the table is the deed. And he's got some other stuff. See what I mean? and the portrait of George Washington. There's a table in there also on George Washington's doing the hand of God sign. Forrest told somebody at Fenn, I want to get a picture of me with Bill Gorman. They asked me, "You want your picture with Forrest?" Because I hadn't asked him for. Well, I asked him for one at the gas bar signing, and he got a picture with him there. But I haven't asked. The picture I have with Forrest doing the hand of God sign while he's doffing his hat. He's doffing his hat and doing the hand of God thing. That's the sign that you give to the winner. So there's Ben Franklin with the deed and his thumb, the thumb in Philadelphia. Here, Franklin's got it under his chin, and Forrest had it in front of his eye. It's not a lot of different. Still his face. But I got to look up what that deed is. What this deed is. It's somebody else's deed or something. I don't know if Benjamin Franklin, if somebody deeded something to Benjamin Franklin, or if he was signing a deed to put something in the other guy's. I don't know if it was a to or from thing. If I don't know. So, and I asked my tarot cards, what about this whole solution, this whole thing and stuff, and it gave me the 8 of Wands, which I'd have to look it up. Hard to open that. Oh, and I put it right back in the stacks. But I got the book. I just need to look it up in the book. This is the book. Tells you how to read the cards. And somebody, read my card for me. Read my card. No. I read them for my own stuff. If you read it for somebody else, the evil, the bad, it's your intention on them. It's not there. they have to read their own dang cards. You have to read. Don't read somebody because that's evil stuff. Wands, yeah, it's right in the middle of the book. Just like the treasure, the clues, the treasure is right in the middle of the book. When he says, I'm talking about once upon a while, the mammoth tusk, and he talks about he'd like to find a Clovis point in the ribs of a mammoth. And that's actually one of the rock formations. And the Clovis point in the ribs of this mammoth, that one's 6 feet tall. Eight of Wands. Swiftness. Head in the suit of fire. That's a blade. Fire, Mercury. Mercury in Sagittarius. This card represents the light. Wands turned into electrical rays constituting matter by their energy. Allows the restored universe is the rainbow. Above this restored universe is the rainbow, representing interplay and correlation. It also shows the energy of high velocity. So now what, you gonna want me to get the card out of the deck and show you, huh? Show you what the Eight of Wands looks. I like a red felt in there. And this box made for these cards. Wasn't that bad? It was like $12 or something for the box. 12, 15, I think. So, it's going to be easier this way to find it. Eight of Wands. Yeah, there's wands and swords. Well, that's a neat looking card, huh? It's kind of like my art. I might have shuffled it after I pulled it. I think I did. How can I go through the whole thing and not see it, right? Because now that one's hidden. There it is. See? So I pulled the card out with the rainbow. That's the one I pulled out today. It has both ends of the rainbow. and there's, what is it? There's eight bolts of lightning and pyramid, and the inverted pyramid. See, where the pyramid is, so says at the inverted point of the pyramid is a flying, there's a UFO. There's a spaceship underneath the pyramid at the inverted apex. So you turn the pyramid upside down, and that far below the pyramid is supposed to be a spaceship. What I do? Just put them together. Put them in there backwards. Half the deck backwards. Oh, the whole deck's backward. No, none of them are. That's not a base card. Yeah, there's some cards in here that aren't good, but I always get the good ones when, and some people, they pull out 3 cards or something and say this with this and this and this adds up to this, and I shuffle it, I open it up, and take that card and see what it says. And I got the Empress this time. Interesting. I didn't ask a question, so I don't know what that's going to mean, you know? And then you get the book. I just put the Empress back in there. There. She's a... Huh. I don't know what that word is underneath it. Because there's different categories and stuff. And this is the third card of trumps. That's the number 3 trump card. So I'll look at here just for fun. What's the number 3 trump card? There are trump cards in the Thoth tarot cards. These are Thoth tarot cards. You know, like Forrest Fenn has an Egyptian Thoth from an Egyptian tomb. And these are Thoth cards. That's why I got a Thoth, because I found Thoth in a couple of places. Actually, the guy that he calls Moses is actually Thoth, and I was watching this stuff about it. It wasn't this video I watched earlier today, and it was about Egyptian stuff and whatever, and it brought up Thoth. That Thoth is supposedly the writer of the Jewish Torah. And I found him here in Colorado because the scene that Forrest says is Moses is actually Thoth, because that is described in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Yeah, I'll show you something I made. I made this. It's carved in wood. It's got water's high, and I got in the middle. I can't remember what I put in the middle there. There's no place for the meat. And the clue's going canyon down where warm waters halt, tired and weak. And this is the path of the treasure map from where warm waters halt, and you go over the mountain and on the other side. So it makes an omega. And I got the clues going around that in the right order. But this is kind of backward, too. I don't know. So we're looking up trumps. Number 3 trump card. Wands. Major Arcana card markings. Swords. Publisher. Cards, the tarot book. 22. His birthday's the 22nd. There are 22 trump cards. So there's a lot of important number, you know, because what happens here is we're in the matrix, and we're using the 6 degrees of separation. If his birthday's the 22nd and there are 22 trump cards, they're right there. That's a subtle hint. You know, it can be, and I've been using the 6 degrees of separation to get where I got, because I knew that what's the relationship between this and that? There's only 2-3 degrees of separation in everything. Like 22, that's 0 degrees of separation between his 22 and this 22. That's 0 degrees. You don't have to go 6 degrees to find a correlation. 1, 2, 3. The Empress. She is seated in a traditional posture. This posture represents salt, the inactive principle of nature. This is small print. The lotus, typically the feminine or passive power. The bees on the robe. So she's got bees on her robe. May be compared to the fleur de lys, suggesting the French origin of the symbol. The belt in the zodiac. The pelican, there's a pelican on there too, may be identified with the Great Mother and her offspring. It represents the continuity of life and inheritance of bloodletting, blood unity, blood uniting all forms of nature. Blood unites all forms of nature. So, a tree has blood, sap, and animals do. The white eagle typifies alchemical salt and the white tincture of nature of silver. So, that's pretty interesting. But it all sounds good. It's not a death card or anything like that. Like I said, I don't read these for anybody but me. They're for me to, I can sit here and ask, and I'm not messing with somebody else's life if I read them for myself. That ain't gonna fit in there. So, maybe I should put that on eBay. I guess something else I found while I was out searching. I found some coffee. This is a Miller's coffee can. There's you can see this is where the key was attached, and you roll the key all the way around the can, and it pulled the strip of metal off all the way around. But you see that it says Miller's, and it says coffee down here, and you listen. There's probably a teaspoon of coffee inside there that's 100 years old. Maybe if that guy drank that, it's still, this guy, whoever left this can of coffee out there probably died by 1950. So that's kind of interesting. So I got an hour. And from here, I'm just going to lose my train of thought. If you missed the beginning, come back and, watch it over again. But I put out the best information. These other people, they ain't got a clue. Oh my God, it's been found. Yeah, it has been found. It. They didn't find cousin it. It is not the treasure chest. It is the trove. It is the blaze. It is the thrill of the chase. And that sounds like a good place to end. Well, we'll see you I wait 5 seconds before I hit the X, because otherwise it'll cut off the "this is the end" part and "we'll see" and all that stuff. So I count to 5 once I stop talking.